In the last video, we have discussed about the production ready structure of the smart contract and how we can follow the 7 golden rules whenever we are writing the smart contract. And I give you all the example about the bad contract, how it looks. So if you haven't watched this video, make sure to watch it, in which I have explained extensively. In this video, I'm going to update the same contract to a well-structured format so you can compare that what exactly you have to do and how you have to focus. So let's try to focus on this. So you can watch this video. After that, you can watch that video. That will give you a broader context. We have done first, we have taken the license identifier and the Solidity version. This is absolutely fine, and we have our interface, no problem in that. And first we have done the naming convention is good, and here we have this one. So this one is for staking and it's going to have a collection of NFTs. So understand the psychology, understand the methods we use in the production contract. So what we have called NFT collection, but in the last contract we have called NFT only, which has the broader sense. Here we have called NFT collection because it's going to deal with the NX staking, and it will have the collections of NFT which going to come into that particular segment. Like NFT can be for buy and sell, bidding or staking, like it has a different concept and each topic has a separate model. So we have given a direct model that it's for NFT collection. Perfect. Now come back to the reward model. Like what we have done in the previous contract, we have gone with the hardcode value within the function. But here we have taken in the constant variable which is going to be public, and we have defined that how much daily reward we want to provide to the user. So that's what we have. And the second one we have is the struct. So we have defined the data structure, that what type of data we want to use it when the user will stake the NFT in the contract. So we have defined this is the staking information, like owner who is staking the contract, and we have to get the time that when it's staking. That one is very important because that duration, that timing is important. Based on that, you're going to calculate the reward, because we have a daily reward is 10 ether. If someone is stake for 2 hours, 3 hours, you have to calculate, you have to know it. But in the last contract, we haven't done that. We have calculated multiple times. So first we have to define a proper data set. Now we can come back to the mapping. In the last one, we have taken A, B, C, quite confusing that what it stands for. But here we have given a clear instruction that this one is for stakes. And is going to refer to this particular data set we have. If you come back to the user stake NFT, there you will find all the NFT which user will stake. So we can know that how many NFT this particular user have a stake, and based on that we can build a different logic, because sometimes we have to calculate and we don't want to allow the user to exploit our contract by doing a lot of staking of the same NFT. So we have to set some sort of locks or some sort of strategy depending on the business logic which you want to implement. So we have given the clear instruction that this one is for the stakes, all the stakes NFT, and this one we have for the user, which we can get from the addresses. And then we have the events. As I told you that in the last contract we missed the event part, because event is very important when you want to read the data and write the data. So we have taken this for NFT stake, and we have this unstake model. And here we are simply doing the general. We are taking our model and we are passing the collection and the addresses of the NFT. That's fine. Now you can come back to the naming convention. So this particular function allow the user to set the NFT for stake, and that's the name we have given. It's take the ID, we are setting the data into the collection, and then we are simpling all of this information. Simple function, but very well written, easy to understand that what exactly happening. So first we are simply doing the transformation, then we are simply updating the information of the stake, then we are transferring this information to our user. That way this user have this NFT and it's there. Then we are initializing the event. So this will deal with only stake NFT, not too many complexity, only staking NFT which will deal with. Now if you come back to here, this one deal with unstake, separate function, separate logic and separate business model. So what it does, it take the ID and simply find that particular NFT where it's located, then we check the ownership. After that, simply remove it. This is the internal function we have included. So what we'll do, whatever the NFT is staked is going to remove from there, and is going to update this one, because this time we have to take the NFT from the contract address and transfer to the user address, and that's what we have done, and we have simply called the event. Perfect. Now if you come back here, this is the calculate model, and this is what you have to do. You can't combine the unstake and reward as a one. So what we have done, we have taken the ID of the NFT, then we are getting that particular NFT and we are taking into a memory. In this way we can save the gas. Now we are checking the duration, that how long this particular user have stake the NFT in the contract, because that's the duration is very important for us. Once we subtract with, so we are simply getting that duration, and then we are simply calculating the reward, and that's what we're going to return it. So user will know, okay, this is the duration and this much reward he or she has earned. So that's what it does, and this is the internal function which allows us to remove the user NFT from the unstake. Very straightforward, getting the user NFTs and simply calling the function. So this is how you can follow well structured. So first, what we have done, we have followed a proper naming convention. Second, we haven't mixed too many complexity in the function. Every single function deal with a specific feature. Third, we have taken the models and we have avoided the repetitive code. Easy to read, easy to understand. It has the event model which allows us to have the data on the chain in the cheapest form. So that's all we have followed. So I hope you have understood. We have tried to avoid the hard code value. If you want to hard code any value which is going to be unchanged forever, you can define as a constant in the state variable. That is more optimized for the contract. So this is the logic you have to implement. This is the way to write the contract. Again, if you really want to master complete blockchain development from scratch, every single technology, every single logic, build a production ready project and check this particular one. You will understand every single thing that what we have included, check the model, check the technology, check the contracts, and how every single thing is going to come together. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. If you have any question, any doubt, do let me in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.